Hello people, welcome back to another first time watchers of the month. March today, let's get straight into it. I kicked off the month with Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard. What a film to kick the month off, eh? I enjoyed the first Hitman's Bodyguard. I don't think it's anything special, but I do think it's a nice little cool action comedy. But the sequel was absolutely terrible. It tells a worse story, takes jokes from the original but does them way worse. The editing is all over the place during the action scenes and just in general. There are just some weird out of place cuts that are there to hide like stunt doubles and reshoots maybe, or there are scenes cut out for some reason. The editing was a total mess. The villain is also incredibly bland as well. There's just really nothing much to like about this film. The only thing that I kinda liked was the chemistry between the three leads, but other than that, I thought this was a real slog and not a worthy sequel to the original. And then I watched Heart Eyes. Not going to talk about this much because I recently made a video on it, but yeah, I like this film more than I thought I would. I thought this film was going to suck, but it is just a fun little self-aware slasher movie with some cool kills, some really likeable main characters, some good twists and turns in there as well. It's a fun time. It's definitely one of those date night movies. You go and watch it just to have some fun for 90 minutes. Definitely check this one out if you like slashers. And then we have Mickey 17. I did like this movie. I thought it was very funny, and I did think it had some really interesting concepts and themes. But after like the halfway point where the plot really kicks in, I feel like it got too muddled. It tried to do way too many things at the same time. Robert Pattinson is absolutely fantastic in this, and everyone else does a really good job as well. It's also visually beautiful as well. This is definitely a film I will watch in the future and I will still enjoy, but I do think it's not as good as Bong Joon-ho's other movies. And then we have Before Sunrise. This is probably the most authentic portrayal of love I've ever seen in a film. I wouldn't be surprised if the director just filmed these two slowly falling in love for real. It felt that natural. The dialogue is absolutely brilliant, the conversations feel so real. While it's a very simple story, it really does work as you really like the characters. It's also beautifully directed, and Ethan Hawke and Julie Delpy are absolutely flawless in this. This is definitely a must-watch if you like romance films, and I'm excited for the sequels. And speaking of the sequel, we have Before Sunset. And this one turned out to be better than the previous film. Nice and short, but it holds a lot of weight. If the first film was about connection, this one's more about regret, and I like that it's pretty much just 80 minutes of these two characters ranting to each other. The ending is really sweet though, showing that even though we hold all of this regret in our lives, it's not over yet and we can still find a connection with someone. I'm really enjoying this series so far. Haven't seen Before Midnight yet, but when I do, I will let you know what I think. And then we have Night of the Living Dead. This is another case of me respecting a film more than I like it. I can certainly see why this would have been a really influential film back in the 60s. It pretty much created the classic zombie monster that we know and love today. But that being said, I did think this film was pretty boring in many places. It drags at certain points, and it feels longer than its runtime. I can definitely see the appeal and why this would have been a huge hit back in the 60s, but as of now, I think it's just kinda dull. And then we have 22 Jump Street. I watched 21 Jump Street for the first time last year, and I really enjoyed it, and I thought 22 Jump Street was just as good as the original. Jonah Hill and Channing Tatum have absolutely amazing chemistry. The story is very simple, but it really does work, and the comedy, honestly, it just hits near enough every time. Really goofy and over-the-top action as well. I really did love these two films. I'm definitely checking them out more in the future. They're just laugh-out-loud funny films that I can watch anytime, anywhere. And then I watched Black Bag. Again, not going to talk about this much, but I really did like this film. It's nothing special, but it's not trying to be. It's just trying to be a nice, grounded spy thriller that's completely pushed forward with dialogue. And the dialogue is really well done. It created a lot of tension in certain scenes. I thought the performances were absolutely brilliant in this as well. And I really did like how this film was directed too. Steven Soderbergh still shows that he's got it, and I really did love this film. Please guys, please go and support this. We need more films like this. And then I watched The Man Who Could Not Remain Silent. This was a short film nominated for an Oscar this year. I saw a lot of buzz around it and I thought, I might as well check it out. And for a 15-minute film, it held a lot of weight. It's a really effective film showing that we need to stand up when we think something wrong is happening, showing that we all have a voice. And I really think the ending to this was really heartbreaking. But it really does work. For a 15-minute film, it sends you on a roller coaster of emotions. Do go check this one out. You can watch it for free. Definitely a must watch. And then I watched The Electric State. Again, recently made a video on this. I'm really sick and tired of these Netflix formulaic, watered down originals. There's just nothing really to like about this movie, apart from the robots. I did like the robots in the film. The story is just incredibly generic. The performances are all dry. Visually, it's really nothing special. Why they spent $320 million on this, I don't know. Netflix, please stop. Do not go and watch this film. And then I watched Snow White. Again, another bland Disney live-action remake. I liked some moments, mainly when the original songs came on, and I did think Rachel Zegler was really good in the film as well. But I don't see why you'd watch this over the original. And then I watched Friday. The only reason why I watched this film is because it has Ice Cube in it, and I think Ice Cube is a really entertaining guy. If you don't know what it's basically about these two guys on a Friday. They sit on their front porch and they smoke weed all day, and there's a load of shenanigans that happen. It's really crazy, but you know what? It worked for me. It was incredibly fast-paced, the performances are all over the top but really good too, and the jokes made me laugh a number of times. This is definitely one you should watch when you can. Nice, brisk and easy 90-minute comedy that makes you laugh a few times. And then I watched Don't Move. I've been meaning to watch this film for a while, and honestly it hooked me in with the concept alone. It's pretty much about this woman who gets injected with this drug that over time slowly paralyses her until she can't move anymore, and then she's being tracked down by this killer. I see a lot of people didn't really like the film, but honestly, while I didn't think it was anything special, I thought this was a really effective, tense thriller. I really did like the added element of the drug. Seeing this woman having to smartly get around this situation was really creative. And I really liked it at one point where, spoiler alert, 3, 2, 1, she has to attract the killer to be saved. I don't think I've seen that in a thriller movie at all, if not, maybe not in a long time. The performances are all really good as well. I think the actress who plays the main woman in the film, she did a really good job despite not really saying much. And I think the guy who played the killer acted sinister enough to the point where he doesn't come off goofy. I will say there were a few things that were left unresolved. I would have liked a few more scenes to resolve those plot points. But overall, I really did like Don't Move. Definitely one I think you should check out when you can. And then we have The Accountant. This was a film I've been meaning to watch for a while, and seeing as the sequel is coming out very soon, I thought I'd give it a watch. And I must say, I very much enjoyed this one. The story can be a bit messy, there are quite a few things happening at the same time, and the movie structure feels so all over the place, so its main focus shifts a lot. All that being said though, I did like all of the characters, especially the main character who's played brilliantly by Ben Affleck. I love how unresponsive he was, and that he's someone who's ready to snap and just go all in, and he has to go through all these extreme measures to try and calm himself. I was also very pleased with how this movie portrayed autism. With someone with ASD, I really am critical at how autism is portrayed in films, but in this film I thought it was portrayed very well and respectfully. The best part was easily the action. For an action film, there wasn't really that much, there was only like 2 fight scenes, but when it was happening, it was really well done. Really nicely directed shootouts and gritty hand-to-hand combat fights are a real treat for me. Overall, I did like The Accountant, even though I thought its story was a little bit messy and all over the place, but definitely one you should check out, and I'm really intrigued to see what they can do in the sequel. And then we have The Grudge 2020. I had no idea that this movie existed. The only reason why I watched it is because I had 2 hours to kill. I was scrolling through Netflix and I saw it, and I was like, oh, I didn't know there was a Grudge movie in 2020. So I watched it, and oh my god, this movie was absolute trash. It's just 93 minutes of absolutely nothing. Of course, they think jump scares are scary, but the audio is so weird, like it's so quiet, so you don't get that like dun that you hear all the time in these movies. The story's trash, the characters are boring, some characters don't do anything to affect the story. There's so many flashbacks as well, but they don't do anything to affect the main plotline as well. Just don't watch this movie. It was absolutely god-awful. There was nothing redeemable about it. Hated this movie. I'm going to forget about it after I finish this sentence. And then we have Mulholland Drive. There are so many things that I still don't understand about this movie. Mainly that cowboy guy. I have no idea what that was all about. but I still really like this movie. It's freaking weird, but it holds a really strong message about Hollywood and the mental effects of wanting to be famous, and it presents it through smart and thought-provoking symbolism. It's directed excellently. I really like the way that it presented the dream and the real world with that weird effect over the camera. The use of close-ups was a really good way of building tension and making you feel unsettled. The performances are all great too. I thought Naomi Watts was pretty bad in the first couple scenes, but over time I understood why she acted like that. Throughout the movie I thought she was excellent and she sold that final scene perfectly. Laura Harring is also great in this as well. And finally we have Novocaine, and this movie was an absolute blast. This is the type of action movie I want more of. Mid-budget, plenty of passion in front and behind the camera, and just to overall be a lot of fun. The story is nothing amazing, but it tells it really well, and I really like that they took their time to make you care about the romance. The first act is more of a rom-com than an action movie, but once all of that is set up and the main plot kicks in, this movie is a wild ride. It's brutal, it's bloody, it's gnarly, it's cringe-inducing, and it does some really creative things with the element of a guy who can't feel pain. Technically, the film was great. It's an action comedy that's directed very simply, but that's not an issue. It did really get creative at times with its quick zooms and well-timed cuts to make jokes work. The action was edited quick enough to make it feel very fast-paced, and I also really like the music, especially the licensed songs. Jack Quaid is so charismatic in this movie. Amber Midthunder is great in here too, and I think her and Quaid had some good chemistry as well. Ray Nicholson takes all the talent from his father though, and he's just great in this movie. He's maniacal, he's psychopathic, you hate the villain because of him. I thought he was great in this too. Novocaine was a blast from start to finish. I had a great time with this one. Please go and support this one, guys. I really want more of these mid-budget action movies that just have wacky concepts. Great time, Novocaine. Go check this one out when you can. And people, those are my first time watchers of March 2025. Let me know what you thought of any of these movies, and let me know your first time watchers of the month as well. But thank you guys for watching, and see you later.